Hey guys, did you bring your gear? Cool, we're going on a road trip. We're going to Corbin, Kentucky. We'll go hike the Niagara of the South, Cumberland Falls State Resort Park. But before we do that, what do you say we stop at the birthplace of KFC? You know how much I love fried chicken. Come on, let's go. Well, get in. Old Colonel Sanders, he was a pretty impressive dude for only having a 6th grade education. He was born in 1890 and he died in 1980. His father died when he was just 5 years old. At the ripe old age of 10, he took his first official job on a local farm. His mother remarried when he was 12 years old, but he and his stepfather didn't get along too well, so he moved out on his own at the age of 13. At the age of 16, he falsified his birth certificate and joined the army. He was sent to Cuba for 3 months before being honorably discharged. I guess they caught up with him.
He did a lot more than just frying chicken, that's for sure. After he was discharged, he moved to an uncle's place in Alabama and started working on the railroad. He started out as a steam engine stoker. He also studied law at night by correspondence and even passed the bar. When he passed the bar, he moved to Arkansas and practiced law in the justice of the peace courts. That is, up until he got into a fight with his own client in the middle of the courtroom. That derailed his legal career.
Yeah, he had a hot head in his younger days. That wasn't the first incident. After he lost his job as a lawyer, he had to move back home with his mother and worked for some insurance companies. Then at age 30, he established a ferry boat company that crossed the Ohio River and carried passengers back and forth from Indiana to Kentucky. It was an instant success. He took the company public, selling shares, and wound up being a minority shareholder. Then in 1922, he cashed in his ferry boat shares to start a company that manufactured acetylene lamps, and that was a bust.
After that, he moved to Western Kentucky in 1924 to work as a salesman for the Michelin Tire Company. Unfortunately, the manufacturing plant closed its doors shortly after he arrived. By sheer luck, he had met the general manager of Standard Oil of Kentucky, and he asked him to run a service station in Nicholasville. But again, that store closed in 1930 due to the Great Depression. However, when one door closed, it seemed another one always opened. Shell Oil Company offered him a store in North Corbin rent-free in return for a percentage of sales. This was still during the Depression though, so to make ends meet, he started offering his home-cooked meals to weary travelers. These meals earned him quite the reputation as a chef. So a few years later, he took out the gas pumps and opened his first restaurant. And this is where he developed his secret recipe of 11 herbs and spices and his cooking method of frying chicken in a pressure cooker that we all know so well, and the legend of KFC was born.
So how was lunch at the Colonel's?
It was yummy!
Well, we better get rolling if we're going to make it to the waterfalls.
The Daniel Boone National Forest is 708,000 acres within a 2.1 million acre proclamation boundary with over 600 miles of trails and 2 federally recognized wilderness areas. It was first known as the Cumberland National Forest, but the name was changed in 1966 to honor Daniel Boone. There are over 250 recreation sites in the forest.
Sounds like a good place to get lost if you wanted to escape the rat race.
Cumberland Falls State Resort Park is located in the Daniel Boone National Forest.
First of all, what's a state resort park?
State resort parks are just state parks that have overnight accommodations.
Cumberland Falls State Resort Park is 1,657 acres and named after its major feature, the 68-foot tall, 125-foot wide waterfall.
The area surrounding Cumberland Falls was inhabited by Native Americans going as far back as 10,000 years. It was remote and difficult to get to, but was rediscovered by an English explorer in 1750. The land passed through several landowners over the years, with buildings that included a cabin that eventually served as a makeshift hospital during the Civil War and a hotel. In the late 1920s, though, there were plans to build a hydroelectric power station upstream and divert the river. To keep that from happening, Thomas Coleman DuPont, an engineer and politician, purchased the falls and surrounding land, stipulating that they were never to be used for hydroelectricity. After his death, the family donated the land to the state, and the state park was officially opened in 1931. The park's open daily year-round. There's no admission fee, it has free parking, and there's lots of hiking trails, 17 miles of trails in fact.
So Rosie, tell us what's so special about Cumberland Falls.
So Cumberland Falls is the only place in the Western Hemisphere that gets a moonbow, also known as a lunar rainbow. It's similar like when you see a rainbow in the mist from a waterfall from the sun. This happens here when there's a full moon and it's clear and there's mist coming off that waterfall. It appears as a fuzzy white bow of light from the moon. So it's known as a moonbow.
Thanks for watching this week's episode.
And don't forget, if you like it, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and ring that bell if you don't want to miss an episode.
And please leave us a comment in the comments section below. Let us know how we're doing. See you next week. Of course there's still outtakes. And how do you like that new satellite dish we have on top of the camper? It's as big as a water tower. But before you... Of course there's still outtakes.
I can hear you grunting.
And you know that's coming in through this microphone. Of course there's still outtakes. Look how red my face is.
Okay. Of course there's. This is the outtakes.
Yeah.